What plans would I be? Complexion is Hershey. Chocolate lady, shh, let's keep it low key. Talk with maybe too much G. Get the pimpin' from my daddy, gang beef from my mama. Don't affiliate with those who O's don't have commas. Pillar 8 for those who chose to have drama. Got a meal to make so I can load and blow.
What it do, family? It's your girl Tootie Toot, and I am back with another video. Shout out to the squad, S&T, Drip Set, what it do. I appreciate you guys for coming back and tuning in. My name is Tamika, aka Toot. Welcome to my reaction channel. I appreciate you guys for tapping in with Toot. Look, you know the vibes. I need you to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and also hit that bell. Turn those post notifications on too, so you know each and every time that I drop a vid, you did. Now listen, we're going to get into this discussion. Right now, we have a situation that's going on with Chris Brown and Kylie Williams, all right? And I really want to kind of pick apart this whole situation and not really focus on their argument, but I want to focus on some of the nature of the argument. Because what I want to know now, and you guys' is grown opinions, you know, is a man ever forgiven for something that he might have done as a child? You know what I mean? I really want to know this. We're going to talk about it. But before we get into it, we're going to also look at some of the chain of events that happened that make Chris Brown go crazy. And that's what I want us to be able to talk about. Now, hold everything you might be feeling. I'm not saying not communicate amongst each other, but I'm going to open up the panel because I want to be able to talk to people about this particular situation. Now, I want to be able to focus on what you guys are saying. So right now, I'm just going to go through and give everybody a brief synopsis of what's going on. Now, everything started pretty much because Chris Brown and Chloe Bailey has a collab coming up. Now, she got a lot of backlash because they did not understand why she would be collabing with Chris Brown because of some of his prior indiscretions. You feel what I'm saying? So, her and Kylie Williams, which this is amazing to me that she's even fixing her mouth to say anything because she's had her share of problems herself. But anyway, let's go ahead and figure it out. This is what's going on. She said something about Chris Brown. I do not want to get in that thread because that's not the focus of this conversation, but I'm going to show you what they got on the Shade Room. So, she comes out and she said, let him come out with his own record, so genius, so captivating that he makes us all forget he beats women, all right? I wanted to focus on this because this right now is what our topic is going to be in. Now, you know Chris Brown is a Taurus. He's a king of petty. It's not a Taurus that I don't know that's not petty, but he said, I'm getting tired of your broken promises, your broken promises. We know Shawty, you know she can't, you know she like Mike Tyson. So Chris Brown also got petty more, you know what I'm saying? And he started posting her, talking about the choo-choo because she just did admit that she slept with every member of B2K minus one, all right? So here we go. The pettiness going back and forth. And it's so terrible because Chris, he's just funny. Listen, don't take me laughing for an opinion on something right now, okay? Don't do me like that. It's just, I'm naturally silly. So miss me with that, but it's funny. He got the best clapbacks ever. Now, this is what I want to concentrate on this post right here. He said, if y'all still hate me for a mistake I made as a 17-year-old, please kiss my whole entire A. I'm effing 33. I'm so tired of y'all running with this narrative. You weird ends are the same ones that tune in every week to see Blueface and Krishan beat the F out of each other in front of the whole world. But that's okay. It's entertainment. All y'all can suck my lumber disrespectfully. Okay? Now, this is what we're going to talk about. Now, what I want to know is people in our society always act like second chances is warranted. Sometimes I don't understand why a person even asks for forgiveness sometimes if it's going to be looked upon as you being the same person you were when you committed the crime. Now, granted, Chris Brown was 17 years old when the incident with Rihanna transpired. Now, I'm a type of person, because everybody know how I feel about Rihanna. There's nobody on this planet that does not know how I feel about Rihanna. But what I had to do is I had to really look through a lot of information, okay? I'm not saying that Chris Brown was ever right, because he was not. A man should not put his hands on a woman. However, in that same breath, a woman should not put her hands on a man because he's supposed to follow that virtue. Because you thinking that is unbelievable to me. Sometimes women do hit men because men are conditioned not to hit women. And that sometimes is where I see the wrong on the behalf of the female. Now we're going to get back into the incident. Now, 17, Chris Brown was arrested for the assault on Rihanna. All right. Now, we got to also be honest in the situation. No, Rihanna was not deserving of anything that happened that night. However, Chris Brown was not the only person that was swinging that night. So when we have this talk about domestic violence, we got to make sure and ensure that it goes both ways. You know what I'm saying? Because even though her bruises showed up a lot more than his, it was automatically not a discussion on that it shouldn't happen from both parties. You know what I mean? Women shouldn't hit men. Men should not hit women. The end. There is no gray area around it. You know what I mean? It need to work both ways. Okay. However, fast forwarding, they begin to talk about him doing drugs. All right. And they also talked about him saying that he never changed his behavior, and that is why people do not accept him now. So that's the question that I have right now. I want to know, do you feel like anyone ever gets a fair chance, especially in the wake of social media? There's always going to be a reflection on who you used to be. There's just nothing we can do about it. Social media has made it to where we can go back and get whatever we want to get at the drop of a dime. All right. So we got to be honest. Chris Brown would never see what he's looking for as far as being peaceful in his life. It's always going to be a conversation. But I also want people to pay attention to another thing. When you're having this conversation and you want to quickly bring up what he did, you have to also understand that you're still victimizing the victim all over again. And see, that's what sometimes I feel like a lot of people lose sight of. If Rihanna forgave this man, right, to the capacity of not only forgiving this man, she did videos with this man. She even got back in a relationship with this man, which says to me that he was not the monster that everybody pegged him out to be. Did he make a mistake? Hell yes, he did. Hell yes, he did. An unforgivable one. But here's the thing about it being an unforgivable thing to me. The person that he did it to chose to forgive him. And this is my problem that I'm having. I just had this conversation with the DDG and Haley situation. We have to take ourselves out of these situations. Even though we have access to their lives, right? Which means we can have an opinion on their lives, but we can't automatically just cancel a person out from mistakes, because what's the whole point of redemption? When people make a mistake, right? If God forgives us and the person we might have hurt have forgiven us, we got to stop crucifying people continuously. To me, it just doesn't make sense to me. Right? For real. I'm just being honest. So now I'm going to be real, because you know I'm not going to just skim over the topic. I'm going to talk about it all. All right? Now, a lot of people are saying that Chris Brown never learned, and that's why he makes the decisions that he make, or people would never fully appreciate him because they don't feel like he has learned from that situation. Now, you already know people are going to bring in things that happened from the Rihanna situation. You have Karrueche, okay? Now, there was a saying, allegedly, that there was some physicality between him and Karrueche, all right? So now we're fast forwarding from 17 years old to a now 24-year-old, I believe, when he was dating Karrueche, Karuchi said things happen. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I have never really seen anything broad of saying what allegations transpired between them. That's not what this conversation is really about. I brought up Karuchi because I wanted you guys to see the timeline of they saying that he continuously made mistakes, and that's why people don't appreciate him. But my question is, when do we forgive someone? When do we actually forgive someone? Now, I remember being younger, and there was things about myself that was totally gross that I grew from, I learned from, and now when I look back at that person, I'm like, damn. Because the woman I am now, I wouldn't accept that. But I want to know in this comment section, when do we forgive someone? And this is my problem, is because this man is continuously being crucified from an act that he already paid his debt to. If a person goes to jail and he comes out, okay, now there's going to be some that come out and stay the same. I'm keeping it a stat. But for the ones that do change, right? When do we say, okay? Now I'm finna read some questions. And this is coming from a man. It's not that he hasn't learned. He is just tired and stressed out from everyone being on the same topic every time. He has an issue with the woman. He was wrong. He knows that. He is trying to move forward, but the world won't let him forgive and let grow and become a better person. Totally understand it. Blaze, I feel like, yes, he did what he did. But I feel like everybody mad because of how the situation was presented to us. He did his bid and laid low, and now he coming back mainstream. The same folks talking S is the same ones that kids cussing them out and running the dang streets. Quit bringing it up and let them both heal. This is an amazing, amazing post. And I'm going to pick apart her post. This key word right here. I feel like, yes, he did what he did, but I feel like everybody is mad because of how the situation was presented to us. You couldn't say it any more better. And I don't even know what I said, it just made sense. But that is exactly, because let's look at this situation different, hypothetically, right? Let's see two kids fighting in the car one night. Because, yo, you might have been cheating on me. Baby, I'm not cheating on you. Yes, you is. I think you cheating on me. Bow, bow, bow. We go back and forth. Let's say it was Chris Brown that was battered that night. He was battered that night, but follow what I'm saying. What if it was Chris Brown's images on the newspaper instead of Rihanna? Everything stays the same. Because we both know that the fight went back and forth. But what happened when there is not pictures or there is not his headline being exploited? I'm saying this is because whatever happened that night, it was wrongs done between Rihanna and Chris. It's proof. Rihanna even said it herself. I hit him first. Then she squeezed his whole nutsack off. I'm not saying that that's right, but what I'm saying is we focus on the only guilty party that the world has made guilty. We don't focus on both parties. And I feel bad for that because there are men right now that get abused that other men and women will not take serious just because of his anatomy. So my question is, do anybody feel like Chris Brown would ever be forgiven? Because when I think about society now, and we have this social media thing, it's always going to be people like Kylie Williams that's going to bring this up. It's going to be people who probably didn't even know that happened between Chris Brown and Rihanna, and now is reminded of the situation because of situations like this. And I just feel terrible because I feel like a person deserves redemption. I do. Now, if you are a person that continuously make the same mistake over and over and over and over again, then yes, you're not getting growth. And that's not the things that I am speaking to. But what I'm saying is he is an entertainer. We rarely see any of this man's personal life. So it's like, why do you guys always make it personal to him? And it's just so sad to me. You know what I mean? It's just think about this right now. Chris Brown has been dropping music consistently for at least the last 13 years with no gaps. Let's be real, okay? However, 25 years after this incident occurred, when they were 17 years old, Chris Brown is still being crucified. Rihanna get to perform in front of millions at the Super Bowl. The man couldn't even perform on a syndicated show that focused on just his talent, not his personal life, or none of that. And I bring that up because I can recall watching 2.5 Men. Charlie Sheen was probably one of the most paid actors of a TV sitcom. This man was brutal to women. He had a disease you could not even get rid of, and he continuously slept with women. There's no telling how many women he affected. But yet and still, he was still in our living rooms once a week for years. Chris Brown can't even be in our living rooms for one night out the year. I find a problem with that. I do. A lot of people, and it was a young lady in my comments, she told me, she said, Toot, you have a tendency to go hard for your faves. I never thought me liking a certain person makes them instantly my fave, right? But she was speaking on the DDG situation because I was saying he was still growing. And as long as Haley forgave him, the end. We can have our opinions on it, but projecting who we are now on children is beyond me. It just really is. You feel what I'm saying? That's just like me jumping the fence because I got bit by a dog. But I get mad as hell for my nephew to want to jump a fence. For him to really understand what might be on the other side of that motherfucker, it's not going to be nothing I can say to him. He's going to have to jump the fence to learn on his own. And that's all I be trying to explain to people. But people feel like when I have these talks and I'm very open-minded, my brain is broad, and I look at things beneath the surface, it's me automatically trying to pander to a man who don't know me, who probably would never see this video. And for some strange reason, you think I would do it for views or for follows. My nigga, I've been trying to get 100K for 3.5 years. And I've been speaking my same truth. So I don't look for nothing. I just want to say that. But what I want to know really completely, when is one forgiven? It's beyond me. So when he has a fit, when he has a tantrum on this here internet, everybody is looking at the incident that happened when he was 17 years old, and they're not looking at what he's saying. This man is still being crucified for something he's already went to jail for. The victim in this same situation has already forgiven him. What is y'all problem? Social media has made the most saints in America. And I'm not somebody that's naive to where I can't recognize a person that's just trying to get over. Like, I recognize those people. So let's not act like that grown people can't see things for what it's worth. Chris Brown and Rihanna, they fought that night. They fought that night. They fought that night. There were situations where Rihanna had slapped the shit out of Chris Brown that was never even presented to the media. It worked both ways, people. We can't crucify just one party. They were both wrong that night. And it goes back to what I was saying about the DDG and Haley situations. Kids, right? Get into relationships, trying to play house and try to be grown, right? But they're doing it at an age to where they're not familiar with being able to handle their emotions. Now, we're looking at DDG at 24 years old, right? Make a bonehead decision of sending a DM at 24. Chris Brown at 17 years old also did not know how to control his emotions. Neither did Rihanna, because there were two kids trying to play house and then realized that it was more to love than just what we see on IG. Rihanna is not no simp. Rihanna got catered to because it happened to be the best time in the world for social media. Them folks did not care about Rihanna. Them folks didn't even care about Chris Brown. It was able to fuel what we now call social media. That was the start of it. Go back and do your math. I'm telling y'all. Twitter was popping when this situation happened. Stock was through the roof. You feel what I mean? So they chose to use that situation because they knew it would sell. It was the dopest entertainers at that time. And they exploited them children. I'm tired of the narrative of people always feeling like they're perfect on social media. It's annoying to me. It's people in the comments right now that it's just insane. I want you guys to see this one particular comment. It's from a man, and he said that these gifts on Instagram is like really blowing me. This man, I'm gonna just say it out loud so we can move on to the next videos. But this man said out loud that Chris Brown will never learn. Once a man show you who he is, he's going to be that man for the rest of his life. So are we talking about mistakes, or we're talking about a fight that happened between two 17-year-olds that I've even had domestic situations when I was younger. I'm not going to sit here and cap and say that I've never done it. My girlfriend had hit me and not my wife. My girlfriend had hit me and I have hit my wife, and I have hit my girlfriend. We was in that motherfucker knucking if you bucking. I got a scar on my neck right now. I don't remember which side it is on, but it is a scar of glass to where she tried to cut my neck off. This is a true story, okay? I've been there. So when people say things like once a person show you their true colors, they can never change, it bothers me. Since that time that I fought with that one girl, I have never fought again in my relationships, ever. So if a person is guilty in a sense of public opinion, they're going to be guilty for the rest of their life? Just don't understand it. Y'all drop it down in the comments. I really want to know you guys' feedback to this. I want to know. Drop it down below. Let's talk about it. We can talk about this stuff without being all ignorant to one another. Everybody know there's a billion people in this world. Everybody's opinions are not going to line up. So keep that in mind when you're down there commenting and things like that. All right, but I really want to know, should Chris Brown at this time, at his big age now, be forgiven for anything that he did when he was 17 years old? I want to know. Drop it down in the comments. Y'all stay tuned.